D'Lo, did you have the Broncos staying with this pick, or you got to trade?
I have them staying. I thought about maybe Mac Jones here, but I don't see it. I think John Elway and Vic Fangio want to win now. They've got stud receivers and Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, who I'm a big fan of, Cortland Sutton, who's an absolute monster, Deshaun Hamilton, I said Hamlin. Melvin Gordon is still there. I think they need to have a win now attitude, and their best shot isn't getting a rookie quarterback. It's seeing what they can get out of Drew Lock. Everything I've read about it this week, it's kind of diving into as many things as I could. His teammates, Peyton Manning is working with this guy. Everyone's trying to kind of give Locke a boost because everyone's talking about Denver needing a quarterback, and apparently the guy's Locke has a really good attitude about it and is really working hard to show that he's the guy. He had a not very good, campaign last year, and whatever it was, 13, 14 games, still managed to lead the league in interceptions, which is not great. I think they're going to give him one more shot. And if it doesn't work out, guess what? They'll probably be a top 5 pick next year. But, they brought in Kyle Fuller from the Bears to be the corner, Darby corner. They've got Bryce Callahan corner, Justin Simmons, potentially best safety in the league. They've got stud pass rushers, and they're missing a playmaker, next. I don't even know who to compare him to, but Micah Parsons is who I have them drafting with the 9th pick, best middle linebacker, off-ball linebacker in the draft, who can rush the passer with, the best of them. He played defensive end for most of his career, but I think he's kind of growing into more of a Darius Leonard type off-ball linebacker, and lining up against the likes of Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert for the next several years. It's a tall task, but I think he's the guy.
I like your pick.
I
went
with that.
I got the same. I went Micah Parsons for the Broncos. This is like you said, he's arguably the best linebacker in the game, maybe even the best athlete or freak, because he's a monster too.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I was looking at for this pick. It was kind of like, team needs to like best player available ratio, and it's like you have to go for this guy. He's a defensive playmaker. He's explosive. He's an athlete. He's his ceilings to me is Luke Kuechly. But even if he ends up being like a Hightower type of player, like Dante Hightower type, that's a win. You get a freaking leader in your defense. I like that guy.
I think initially I also had Parsons going to the Broncos, but in the end I think that a QB, like I said, is going to be premium for them. Their defense is already great, and a lot of people do. I think the attitude in the league is it's starting to turn linebackers into like the running backs of the defense. That you can fill that hole with anybody, and that you don't normally see linebackers going top 10 or even top 20 in the draft because of that. There's also a lot more that goes into it. I agree that Micah Parsons is a freak athletically, but if you're going to be, that star middle linebacker, then you're going to be expected to be the quarterback of the defense too. It's not all just about your athleticism, your physical skills. A lot of it's going to be, leadership, recognition of offenses, schemes. There were some off the field issues with Parsons. I think he had transferred schools because he was accused of starting a riot. He had gotten into a couple fist fights in college. I think one time he, dumped water on someone's head or something and got into a fist fight.
Cut him.
He says that all of that is behind him. I think it most likely is. But I think that right now the Broncos I think they may go for that quarterback instead. Okay. So I actually have the Falcons for the number 9 pick. I have them taking J.C. Horn cornerback out of South Carolina. I think Horn is a freak. There, like we said earlier, there are a ton of good cornerbacks in this draft. Horn among them. I think Surtain is probably rated the #1 corner available right now, but I think JC Horn is right there. I think Horn is a little bit more athletic than Surtain. I think Surtain kind of gets beat off the line of scrimmage sometimes. He doesn't have great long speed either. Horn does have his issues. I think he's going to have to reel it in a bit with the physicality, or he's going to get flagged constantly in the NFL. He has an issue a little bit with tackling too. He kind of lunges at players. He gets those big hits. His tackling's not too sound, but I think that's something that you can coach. But you can't coach speed and you can't coach attitude.
Yeah.
That dude wants to win every single snap right off the ball. He's not going to.
It seemed like he wants the ball thrown his way. Like he wants the action.
His highlights are fun to watch, man.
Yeah,
it's so fun to watch his highlights.
Horn's a scary dude, and he's more versatile, I think, than Surtain. Surtain always plays on that left side. Horn has played in the slot. I think he can play either side, so he could shadow a guy. I think he'd be much better in press coverage. And if you're looking for someone that can shut down Michael Thomas, I think Horn would be a good bet for that. Playing the Saints twice a year.
It's really, I found it really hard to judge the corners in this draft. Like looking at
corners.
Horn, looking
Great
at
corners.
Surtain, looking at Asante Samuel Jr., all three of which are sons of former players.
I was gonna mention that Joe Horn.
Greg
How crazy
Newsome.
is that?
Yeah, I find it hard to kind of, it's like who do you take? Like